What is it that you love about India?
My introduction to India began in the 60s in England. My parents were very poor, working class, fairly uneducated, and terribly racist people. Now, at the age of 7 and 8, I was a very inquisitive animal, and I was going to school and mixing with these wonderful people who would give me chapati and sometimes put a bit of chili in it, teach me the Hindi language. I learned to count to 10. Ek, do, tin, char, panch, sat, aat, naw, das. This was incredible to me. It was a wow. And yet, each evening when I went home, my parents would say to me, "Don't you play with them fucking wogs." So I was kind of like, but all my friends at school are wogs. But you think wogs are bad, and yet they're not. So my curiosity about different cultures, and specifically India, began when I was a very small boy. And then I just suddenly one day in the middle of a piss-up in 1994 said, "I'm going to India." And a fella said, "Have another pint of Guinness." It was about 7:30 in the morning in the old Kent Road in London. 6 weeks later, I was in Delhi. I'd never left England, never flown in a plane. I just went. And I got very sick, incredibly sick. I went to Delhi, Dharamshala, Kathmandu, and straight back to England, all within a space of weeks. And then I came again in 1999 and stayed for 5 months. And God willing, I'd like to stay here for the rest of my life. I've found somewhere where people see who you are rather than what you portray. I'm unable to properly put into words why it is I love India. I know it's because I feel we're closer to God here. We can talk about God openly without being viewed as some kind of strange person. The size of the country, the variations, you can never fail to learn here. And every single day I'm touched by some small measure of kindness that reads in my life massively. It's overwhelming sometimes. In fact, I've seen people come here and be overwhelmed by the generosity, the kindness. Don't get me wrong, I'm not a hippie. I mean, I've been surrounded in a bar and tapped on the back of the head with chapel, so I know that racism exists and violence and all the negative things exist, but somehow it's more open here. It's not so hidden. It's there for you to see in action. You watch life and death. Here where I stay, I watch people's dead bodies being carted down to be burnt. In England, I've never seen death so openly. It's always tucked away in a box. And we don't say dead, we say, "I'm sorry about his passing." Here, you die in the morning, you're burnt in the evening. It's gone. It's part of the day. Reality is here.
You say in Chatram, he says the hearts of the Indian people are the greatest in the world.
It feels like that to me. The reason I'm doing this video is just to say it's beyond words. It's beyond words. It's beyond description in books.
What is beyond words? The spirit of India?
The spirit of India and the all these great teachings boil down to very simple actions that people carry out. For example,
you cannot embrace the concept here in India of a white man being broke, having no money, no reserves, no pension, no land.
That's where you were.
That's where I am.
You're still there. And they took care of you.
They still do. And it's the practical demonstration of the Baba's teachings, which I am profoundly moved by. I've read many great books and philosophies and different religions. And there's nothing like somebody who has less than you giving something to you. Nothing. Whole different way of approaching the situation. Here's somebody on their knees, let's kick him in the face. Here's somebody on their knees, let's feed them. Big difference. Huge learning curve. Especially for an arrogant bastard like me who's an ego. My business is my ego. You know, I'm an actor. But I'm not acting right now, I tell you.
You're being taken care of by Nityananda.
Yeah.
He just lives in the street, or?
He stays on, sleeps outside his shop, and I mean, I know in England, if a beggar's found sleeping outside his shop, they're deemed or seen as a threat, a problem. Good morning. Namaskar. And here, it's almost as if they've done a service. They've looked after the shop for the night, so they get a cup of tea and say, thank you very much.
So it's not his shop?
No. He doesn't have a shop. He doesn't have a business. He doesn't have an identity in that respect. But he's fucking happy. He's totally content where he is. And each day he makes enough buck to eat. And actually, there's a great lesson in that.